morning, Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers held rice distributions in an elementary school in a slum in Manila. Malaysia and Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers pass on environmental concepts to elementary school students and members of the public. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Nell. Thank you for joining us. In the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to hand out rice to people in need. This time, the distributions were held in Manila. One was at Guevela Elementary School, while the other was at a slum in Barangay Tondo. Tzu Chi's gift of love came just in the nick of time and was immediately prepared so that many hungry children could be fed.
Love is conveyed through sign language. Moved, Manila residents decided to follow after Tzu Chi volunteers. At the rice distribution in Guevara Elementary School, the anxious single mother, Lilia, is full of expectation. Her pent-up emotions finally let loose during prayers, as she knows her 7 children will no longer have to go hungry.
My children are waiting for me. They haven't had breakfast. Now I can make them porridge to eat.
Lilia hurries back home to her children after picking up her bag of rice. To let her children go to school so they may reverse their fortune, Lilia cuts onions to make ends meet. Veronica is a mother with 13 children to feed. She also hurries home after receiving her bag of rice. The place that she calls home is a rickshaw that her husband uses to make a living during the day, but turns into the family's bed at night.
The rickshaw is our tool for life, so we may buy food to feed our children.
Meanwhile, at the rice distribution in a slum in Barangay Tondo, many women brought along their infant children.
We can hardly earn any money. We now peel garlic for a living, but the job is unstable.
Merle's children eat only 1 meal during the day. Though life is hard in the slum, many still decided to reciprocate by contributing their change.
As it is now winter in South Africa, Tzu Chi volunteers in Ladysmith recently organized a winter relief distribution to help impoverished residents brave the cold. For those who were too frail and ill to leave their homes, local volunteers thoughtfully brought the relief supplies right to their doorsteps.
Amid their joyful singing, Ladysmith's local volunteers arrive at Grandma Toko's home. The volunteers' visit is like the warmth of the winter sun that not only brightened up the senior's day, but also gave her the strength to take a walk outside. Now in her 70s, Grandma Toko was once a recycling volunteer, but a stroke some 2 years ago left her with restricted mobility. During this time, the senior has seen a speedy recovery, all thanks to the continuous care and support of her Dharma family.
They tell you it's hungry, every day is hungry. Thank you for rice, is eating the rice.
In the rural communities of Ladysmith, there are many families like Grandma Toko who live in extreme poverty. This rundown shack is where Lindiwe lives. A wooden plank supported by 4 plastic buckets serves as a bed. Where there is the sick and suffering, that is where Tzu Chi volunteers will go with their love and care. Upon receiving Tzu Chi's rice, residents express their sincerest appreciation through song.
The 7th lunar month is fast approaching. To the Chinese, it is the ghost month, where joss papers are burned and extravagant banquets are held to honor and appease the dead. As we show in our next report, however, Tzu Chi believes such practices to be based on unfounded mythicism and to be unhealthy, both to the environment and our bodies. It preaches that the month is a time of filial piety and gratitude.
When was the last time you called your parents? A simple cup of tea can say a lot. Though love may be difficult for some to express, a hug can say it all. As the 7th lunar month is approaching, Tzu Chi is hosting Spread the Seeds of Love seminars in communities.
You must honor your parents all the time and not just on Mother's Day or Father's Day.
To take a moment to let your mind settle and listen to other stories to inspire yourself is wonderful.
Through the event, volunteers are promoting Tzu Chi's values on filial piety, conservation, vegetarianism, and proper worship.
The lunar month of July is a month of filial piety and gratitude, not a ghost month. It's a time that is good for any activities. That's the message we want to pass on.
Volunteers hope people will take action to express their feelings, not burning just paper, but practicing recycling and vegetarianism, which will benefit everyone. Over in Penang, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers transform into Guanyin to spread positive messages.
How can one be a bodhisattva? It starts from recycling. We thought we could inspire others with our Guanyin, holding bamboo coin banks on one side and recyclables on the other.
Immediately, a member of the audience vows to be a vegetarian for a month and adopt a bamboo coin bank.
I'm here for Tzu Chi's seminar. I would very much like to help Tzu Chi because volunteers were a great help to my family before my mom passed on.
38 families are here after receiving the volunteers' personal invitation. There is also a demonstration on making a meatless meal by preparing Tzu Chi's instant rice and hot cocoa.
We hope our bodhisattvas can take in some of the lessons and eat less meat and burn less just paper when they go home.
Meanwhile, the Tzu Chi Phuket Metta Jam Liaison Office decides to invite 50 members of the public over for a vegetarian dinner every evening for a whole month, so that they will know not to burn just money and kill livestock for extravagant banquets during this auspicious month.
I think we should not limit this activity to the ghost month, but practice it every day. We must think good thoughts and do good deeds every day to make every day a wonderful day.
By eating and living healthy, we make every day an auspicious day.
In Taiwan, the 2014 Happy Healthy Camp, hosted by the Tzu Chi University, kicked off in Hualien County. To reciprocate the love and care they have received at previous camps, 3 high school students decided to give up their summer holidays to help alongside the university students. To create a lively atmosphere at the camp is not only the job of the event management team, but also the audio team. In charge of the audio at the 2014 Tzu Chi University Happy Healthy Camp is 11th grader Liao Junyan.
At first, I was all over the place. Thankfully, with the help of senior volunteers, I have learned ways to organize the equipment list.
Also helping out is You Ziyun, who was a participant in last year's Happy Healthy Camp. This year, she decided to seize her summer holidays, accompanying those similar to her in age.
I felt that I had seen a shadow of my former self in the Chinese. I was very naughty too. Although volunteering at the camp is really tiresome, I am still willing to give up my holiday to learn from others.
Through volunteering at the camp, Yang Yushun, who works behind the scenes to prepare food and drink for trainees, has improved her teamwork skills.
Everyone at the camp was very organized and knew exactly what their duties were. I think the skills I have learned from the camp will benefit me in the future. I have improved my leadership skills.
With Tzu Chi University students by their sides every step of the way, these high school students not only learn valuable skills, but also spend their summer holiday in a more meaningful way. 2 years ago, Mr. Lee suffered an accident that hindered his mobility. Because of his continued immobility, his weight increased from 100 kilograms to 220 kilograms. He can hardly sit up on his own, so his daily needs are taken care of by his mother. Recently, Pingdong Tzu Chi volunteers and Tima paid him a visit to check on his health. Seeing the worry on his mother's face, volunteers decided to take him to the free clinic site to get a more thorough checkup.
Here in Pingdong, Taiwan, 45-year-old Mr. Lee is 170-some centimeters tall and weighs 220 kilograms. Since he injured his legs 2 years ago, Mr. Lee's mobility has never been the same. Confined to bed, he quickly exceeded 200 kilograms in weight. As even sitting on his own became a problem, his mother began to tend to his every need.
Mama, 我爱你.
I told him if you keep gaining weight and need me to help you flip over, I won't be able to do it. I don't have the strength.
Sympathizing with the mother's worries, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to give Mr. Lee a thorough health examination at the free clinic. But the first obstacle was moving Mr. Lee to the car. Using a thick blanket as a stretcher, everyone lifted him into the van so that he could travel to the free clinic. Besides a dental checkup, doctors from other departments also saw Mr. Lee and tended to his health. Volunteers hope their effort to give Mr. Lee's health a thorough checkup will ease his mother's mind and also give them encouragement to keep going for the days ahead.
Making the most of their summer holidays, in Malaysia, a group of elementary and high school students took part in a one-day recycling event organized by the Batu Pahat Tzu Chi Academy. But first, let's join volunteers at the Tzu Chi Kosambi recycling station in Jakarta, Indonesia, as they promote Tzu Chi's environmental ideals to members of the public.
As community residents arrive at the Tzu Chi Kosambi recycling station, 70-year-old volunteer Betty extends her warmest welcome, as she hopes everyone will enjoy practicing recycling as much as she does. There is nothing for me to do at home, so I help out at the recycling station. When I am here, I am really happy because I can practice recycling with everyone and befriend like-minded individuals.
Situated
in Jakarta, since its opening, the Kosambi recycling station has been not only a place where volunteers forge great friendships, but also one that draws visitors to come and learn more about Tzu Chi's recycling practices.
We organize a community recycling day during the first week of every month. We have visitors from a local temple here today, so we want to take the opportunity to show them how we sort recyclables here.
Visitors learn about Tzu Chi's environmental concepts through a video clip and promise to incorporate these practices in their daily lives.
Recycling can be fun, and I enjoy making handicrafts out of recycled materials.
We have long encouraged our members to carry their own water bottles. Through today's visit, though, we also realized the need to reduce waste. We hope to draw on the strength of our younger generation to promote these recycling concepts. At the Kosambi recycling station, not only have volunteers turned recyclables into gold, but they have inspired many individuals to adopt a greener lifestyle as well.
I was assigned to build an airplane, so I made one.
Using recycled items ranging from PET bottles to CDs, students put their creativity to the test to come up with their own handcrafts.
We have to practice these environmental concepts at home. Since these students already know the concepts, they just need their families to support their initiative.
Loving our planet is not enough, as attaining the correct environmental concepts is just as important. Hence, recycling volunteers have been invited to the Batu Pahat Tzu Chi Academy to share their experiences with participants.
We all have a common understanding in our family. Every item has its own lifespan, and we should maximize its function.
Under the guidance of recycling volunteers, parents and students try their hand at recycling. They have learned to give recyclables an extended lease of life and have also come to realize the importance of our Earth's resources.
In Taiwan, employees of Weichen Foods Corporation recently visited the Tzu Chi liaison office to learn how to sort recyclables and brush up on other environmental concepts. They vowed to bring back what they learned to the office and put it to practice in their daily lives. What else can you do with PET bottles?
A pop question from Tzu Chi volunteers puzzles the employees of Weichen Foods Corporation, but the answer is soon revealed.
The shirts of the World Cup football players are made from PET bottle extracts. Such eco-friendly textiles are much better than ordinary ones.
Today, Weichen employees are visiting the Tzu Chi liaison office for a lesson on Tzu Chi's humanity.
Cut it through and then twist. Yes, see how the ring breaks? Just leave it in the bin.
Tzu Chi volunteers demonstrate how to process recyclables and teach the participants about the different categories of recyclables.
In our daily lives, there are many chances for us to practice recycling. However, we always overlook those opportunities. Today, I have learned that doing recycling is actually not that difficult. Perhaps I can start putting it to practice one step at a time in my daily life.
Thanks to today's event, I learned that the plastic bags that I threw away were actually sent to recycling stations and remade into clothing. Recycling is so meaningful.
If corporations want to shoulder more social responsibilities, the easy step begins with recycling.
Recently, we brought you an in-depth look at Tzu Chi's folding bed that won the Red Dot Design Award. Today, we introduce other helpful products that can be seen in the course of Tzu Chi's international relief efforts. Often during disaster relief, Tzu Chi volunteers are faced with no drinking water and no electricity. Tzu Chi International Humanitarian Aid Association, formed by entrepreneurs in Taiwan, has developed items to overcome these obstacles while upholding Tzu Chi's environmental awareness and compassion.
In order to improve its provision of aid to disaster survivors, entrepreneurs from Taiwan formed Tzu Chi International Humanitarian Aid Association to develop innovative relief supplies like Tzu Chi's gray eco blanket and boats equipped with a water purification system.
Using a boat with a water purifier system installed, we can directly use the river water at the disaster sites and provide drinkable water after filtration.
When there is no electricity in the disaster area, one can wear an LED hat to absorb energy during the day and use as a flashlight at night. There is also an LED backpack with a mobile charger which can be used as a flashlight.
The master suggested that perhaps we could install lights on a hat because often during disasters there is limited access to electricity, so an LED hat can help to illuminate the road ahead so that volunteers can work in the dark.
Tzu Chi's instant rice is never far away from any disaster relief, enabling a delicious dish to be cooked up with a small amount of hot water and a wait of just 20 minutes. Volunteers have come up with all sorts of creative dishes to make with the instant rice. When Dharma Master De Han first invented Tzu Chi's instant rice, she was underneath an osmanthus tree surrounded by a few pots. Tzu Chi's compassion combined with a little technology has helped disaster survivors to get through the tough times with just a bit more warmth and love.
In our next report, we go to Taipei, Taiwan's new Taipei city, to meet Tzu Chi volunteer Ling Shoufang. In 2012, Ling discovered that she'd had breast cancer and suddenly fell into despair. As an active volunteer in Tzu Chi events, however, with a quick change of mindset, she decided to face her sickness with a positive attitude. Facing the impermanence of life, moreover, Ling promised to continue to do good deeds until her very last breath.
人生在世是为什么？为什么生命是这样子的脆弱跟短暂？
No one can decipher these mysteries about life. Following her breast cancer diagnosis, however, Tzu Chi volunteer Ling Shoufang has gained a better understanding about life
At first, I kept asking, why me? With a changed mindset, however, I asked myself, if not me, then who?
Ling Shoufang says her sickness has taught her to be more compassionate and face all obstacles with a positive attitude.
Obstacles in life give us the opportunity to learn and grow.
Knowing the pain and suffering that cancer patients endured, Ling Shoufang decided to extend her love and care to another breast cancer patient.
Back then, I was still receiving chemotherapy treatments, but I decided to share my story with her. My gesture made her realize that, although I am also a breast cancer patient, I can still visit her and give her encouragement.
Some 10 years ago, Ling Shoufang joined the Tzu Chi family. Besides being a DaAi mother, Ling is also an active volunteer at the Tzu Chi Xingtai Liaison Office study group. Though still recovering from her illness, Ling still sees every chance to participate in the study group.
I couldn't see anything after my chemotherapy treatment, but I was still able to get in touch with the Dharma by listening to it on the e-book.
In the face of the impermanence of life, Ling Shoufang continues to do good deeds and believes that one day she will find answers.
如果有一天我还可以站得起来，在我有限的生命里面，我一定要把握因缘来承担。
Moving to Kaohsiung, Taiwan, we go to the Tzu Chi Xishe office to meet 77-year-old Chen Yulian and 78-year-old Ling Zhang Chuhui. Despite their old age, both seniors have been getting up early every day to watch Master Zheng Yin's wisdom at dawn broadcast for more than 6 years. Touched by their determination, many volunteers have decided to follow suit. Riding her bike to the Tzu Chi Xishe office in Kaohsiung City is 78-year-old Ling Zhang Chuhui. Meanwhile, inside the office, 77-year-old Chen Yulian and other volunteers are getting ready to watch Master Zheng Yin's wisdom at dawn broadcast. Though holding a note as she watches, Chen Yulian is actually illiterate.
I have never received any education and often forget what I hear, so I'll ask Sister Chu Hui to help me and teach me.
As it turns out, the pair has been watching the broadcast for more than 6 years. It was only recently that Yulian asked the 1-year-older Chu Hui to help her take the Dharma to heart. Thus, the pair now uses their lunch break to study together.
It's very hot over here, but we just use a fan. The master told us that we need to endure the endurable.
They are a great team because one doesn't know many words, while the other one can read. Whenever Sister Chu Hui reads to Sister Yulian, they will remind each other on the things they missed. Seeing them brings me great Dharma joy.
Despite their old age with determination, both volunteers have overcome obstacles to absorb Master Zheng Yin's Dharma and even inspire those around them to follow suit. We stay in Taiwan at the end of the show, as the 7th lunar month is just around the corner. Shiling District Tzu Chi volunteers in Taipei City held a blessing ceremony at a local park. During the event, volunteers also encouraged members of the public to go meatless to save lives. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.